Hello friends, in this video I'll be talking about list in Python, but this list we are going to implement it in Django as a web application for taking user input. You must have used list in the terminal, but since I'm doing Django, so how I can make use of list inside the web framework of Python, that is Django. So we know that a list contains following features. The order maintains the order of data insertion because it follows the indexing. As you can see right over here, a sample list has been given. So this particular data is in the index number 0. The same goes for this one and this one and this one. So all of the element has got one particular unique index, and that's what is going to be maintained. And so the insertion order of the data in the list is going to be same. Changeable. List is mutable. So that means we can modify or we can edit any item of the list based on the indexing. Heterogeneous, as you can see over here, it has got four different data types. One is a regular variable, the other one is string, then come float, and the list also going to have a list as one of its index. So it's going to be a heterogeneous. Well, any of the data in the list can be duplicate. So there is, like, it is up to you to determine if there is any index that you're going to maintain as a unique attribute. According to that, the list can be unique, otherwise its data can be redundant. So these are the following attributes of a list. And now we would get into the program, and here is the GUI environment for me where I will be taking user input, and I will even show you the code as well. So let me bring you to the code part. The very first thing I will do is that I will open the integrated HTML, and here I have done the configuration. I'm making use of Bootstrap. I've added the CDN link for the Bootstrap, so you can just go to the Bootstrap website, getbootstrap.com, and from there you collect the CDN link. You will be getting one link for the CSS, and there's another link for JavaScript. Just add these two links at the respective places. Your application will work smoothly. And here I have gone for the class container so that I can get this kind of preview, as I can show you right over here. See over here, a space on the left hand side and the right hand side has been left because of the following class which I have taken right over here. And now I wanted to bring this particular caption at the center, and for that reason I have gone for the following classes. Okay, now the most striking part is the data will be given by the user, and when the data is filled, user will click on the submit button, and as the submit button has been pressed, the following form tag will be executed. Right over here you can see the form has got the method as type post, and this is very important in context to Django. So each of these DOM element has got one unique name over here, so that I can individually identify that from where the data is coming. So this is the first name, this is the last name, and this is the age, and same goes for the button over here. It's of type submit because we are going to submit the form, and this is going to be accepted by Python. But before that, I would show you one more thing over here, whether the data is there inside the context. I will show you this one where from it is coming. So here I've gone for the template string that is going to be implemented in Django with the help of Jinja. So this is a template engine that is working over here. Jinja is working as a template engine, and here I've even make use of Bootstrap classes. So this particular context, if it has got the value, then the following captions, I mean the heading, would be shown, and the respective data would be shown over here, and the data is going to come from the list. For that reason, I'm going for the iteration. One at a time, the data will be fetched and will be stored inside this local variable, and then the indexing order is maintained as I showed in the diagram initially. As you can see over here, this is the index 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and that way inside this item it will be like a one single row, and from that single row I'm picking up the respective columns, and that's how the data will be parsed in through this particular iteration. And here the iteration ends, and here also the endf would get to an end. So if the context is going to have a data, then this particular portion is going to work. As you can see at the beginning, there is no data right over here. For that reason, the table is not coming. See over here, there is no table been shown at the load of the, I'm pressing the enter once again. At the initial loading of the page, inside the list there is no data. Henceforth, this particular thing has not been shown, but this will be shown at the end when the application will have just a second, when the application is going to have the data right over here, then it will come in picture. Okay, so that's how this is going to work. So sound interesting, right? So now let me show you what is there in the backend, I mean the Django part. So by default, when you create a Django project, you will be having one urls.py, and over here I have created one more file over here that is by the name called view, which is right over here. So the view is present inside this particular folder, and the file name is called view. That's how the model has been incorporated in this particular program. So let me show you what is there. So this is the name of the file and this is the name of the function, and I've given a name to this particular route. Well, later on I will be using this one, not at this particular program. So let me open this particular file right over here. Here the file goes. So I created one list, and this is an empty list. Now when the user will be clicking on the button, as I said, this particular route is going to get called because sorry, this route will be getting called. As you can see over here, the post submission takes place, so naturally the data will come right over here, the control will come right over here, and it will match with the following URL, because as you can see over here, the URL has got an empty string. So this URL is an empty string, like over here, apart from the root route there's nothing more there. So naturally this particular route would get matched, and hence this the controller will give a call to this particular method, and hence we land over here. Now here what I have done is that I have created a dictionary. Well, there are two different ways you can create a dictionary, either using the curly braces or you giving a call to the method called text. So with the help of that you create a dictionary over here, because at the end of the day I have to send this particular detail at the front end, and that will be done with the help of dictionary, which I will show you right over here. Now when the user has submitted the form, as we saw over here, the form has a method type post, so that means this particular if condition would get true. But at the initial level, when the user did not click the submit button, that means when I just open the route, at that point of time the if condition will not be true, hence the control will come to the render function. The render is getting called from the package Django.shortcut, and here we are passing three different parameters. One is a request, and this request is going from the backend to the front end, and this particular folder, there is a folder in the template over here. As you can see, templates has got a folder called home, and then inside that you have got index.html. Well, the home folder I have created. It is up to you whether or not to create any folder as of your requirement goes. So this particular page will be called, well, this template will be called, and there would be a dictionary that's going forwarded, but initially this dictionary is going to be blank. Henceforth, when the data will come right over here, and this dictionary will be received by this item, and this item is going to be blank initially, and for that reason this table has not been shown. As we can see over here, we are just seeing the initial DOM element that would be responsible for taking user input. Apart from that, no table has been shown. So now we suppose fill the form and we resubmit the page once again, hence the URL will be called once again, and the control will come right to this particular function. And inside this function, what we have got, we are picking up the data. First of all, inside the request, the data which user has submitted through this entire form would be passed. So this request parameter is going to play a very crucial role right over here. This is going to receive the data that is coming from the front end to the back end. Hence, from this particular request, we will be just verifying that whether the user has clicked the button or not. I mean, the form got submitted when the user clicked the button or not. Yes, it's true, because user, after filling up the form, will definitely click on the button to submit the form. Henceforth, this particular condition will become true. Now is the time when we will pick up the data from the respective DOM element. As you can see over here, fname, lname, and age is the respective DOM element name over here. See, fname, lname, and age. So from here the data will be picked up and will be stored in the subsequent variables. Now what if the user did not give any input, and rather user clicks on the submit button? That can also be possible, right? In that case, what happens, you don't have this particular, so in that case we will just, since user did not give any data, so it would come over here and it will display, it will pass on this particular message to the front end. Okay, and otherwise what happened, well, I would be generating my context, and this context will be in the form of a key value pair. So right over here, as you can see, the first name has been added over here, the last name has been added, and age has been added. Now this key, we are adding the data inside the dictionary. Right now what we have to do is that we have to pass the data into the list, because I want to show you all the input that the user will be giving. That means I can run this particular page multiple times. Yes, that's the beauty. So when I will be working, I will be running the page multiple times. So let me show you for the first time what will happen. Suppose I give the first name as Peter, this last name as Parker, and I go for the age as like I was supposed 21, and I click on submit button. The moment I will click on submit button, look over here, the data comes right in front of the screen. So how exactly it is coming? So whatever input user has given, that are getting assigned in the respective keys. Now these keys will be very helpful. Now over here I have already got this data, so I'm passing it as here I'm creating one tuple. Yes, and I'm passing this entire tuple inside my dictionary, inside my list. So henceforth, whatever data you have given, that will get stored inside this list, right? Now what I have to do is that I have to forward that data in the front end. So for that reason I'm using the dictionary once again, and this dictionary is holding this particular item. Well, what I can see over here, I may not have written this piece of code, then also the program will work smoothly. Let me show you this without writing this particular line. Let me comment this particular portion. Let me close my server, and here the server ends. Let me clear the screen and let me rerun the code, because what I can see is that I'm not using these individual dictionary. Well, I can use, but at this point of time I'm not using it. So let me bring you back to the application once again. Let me hit the enter, and now let's give the data again, the Peter Parker, and the age is 21, and I click on the button. Yes, that's what I was saying, that there is no need of giving the data this individual keys you don't need, because as a whole you are passing the entire list, and this list has been passed through this particular dictionary, and the key of the dictionary is called item, and this the context has been referred right over here. So that's the reason why in the HTML I have made use of items. Now you can understand why this if condition was given. Yes, this if condition implies that whether this item is empty or not, and if it is empty, then definitely this portion will not get executed, which happened initially when the form gets loaded. At that point of time user didn't click the button, henceforth this item didn't get executed. But now when the user submitted the data, so naturally, as we can see over here, this item is getting activated because of this list, and that was the reason why this condition is becoming true, and that's the reason we can display the data from the index wise, and that's how the data working. So the beauty of list is that you can hold multiple data. So suppose I have got another data called John, and the name is Carter, so that's the guy. So his age is 26. I click on the submit button, and the data is getting saved successfully over here. So the beauty of list is that you can store multiple data. So let's go one last time, and this time I will provide my name, and I'm a very old man, so my age is 79. I click on the save button, and the data gets saved successfully. So that's the beauty of list, that each time you are inserting a new tuple is getting generated, as we saw in the code, as the data is getting saved in the form of a tuple, and this tuple has been passed inside the list, and eventually that list is referred to the context, and which is a dictionary, and that dictionary comes to the front end, and then we go through this entire iteration. As you can see over here, that when you're working on this, different concepts are coming in picture, because at the end of the day it's like you need to make use of all the things to make the application really applicable, right? And well, don't think that this is just a program where I took the help of list to take the data and store it over here, but I have also got a new plan on working on this particular application, so that why not we update the data? Yes, that also need to be very important, because once you have taken the data, as we saw in the picture, that the data is also updatable, changeable, mutable, right? So that also I need to prove. So for that reason, in my next video I will work on the update part, don't worry about it. But before that, I will request you guys that you watch the video once again, and the code is right in front of you people, and if you want, you can implement this in your application as well. Okay, so that's all from this video presentation. See you soon, take care, bye bye.